My name is Dolores Greenwald, Director of the Williamson County Public Library. Welcome to our monthly show, and thank you for joining us. In our Your World segment, we will have Bethany with the Columbia State Community College Foundation. She will discuss what is happening at Columbia State and with the foundation. In our Save the Date segment, we'll be interviewing Bethea, Executive Director of the Arts Council of Williamson County. She'll be here to discuss the art scene in Williamson County and our Grid Row and exhibit area. In our What's Hot in Books segment, we'll be focusing on children's books, which are excellent for parents to read aloud to their children. So if you're a parent of a young child, you will not want to miss this. Our special guest is Julie Duke, Manager of the Children's and Young Adult Services Department of the main library here in Franklin. And again, thank you for joining us today, and we'll be right back with our Your World segment. And did you know the library has a small business resource center for business topics, business types, business plans? You can go to wcpltn.org for more details. Hello, welcome back. We have a special treat for our Your World segment today. Help me welcome Bethany Lay. She is the Executive for Advancement and Executive Director of CSCC Foundation, and Bethany's going to explain what that is. Welcome, Bethany. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me, Dolores. Well, as you said, the Executive for Advancement works on the college side to help the development efforts and work with the community in understanding and knowing more about what the college does in the community, what programs we offer, and what we can do to help serve our students and community. And on the side of the foundation, I help raise money for scholarships, and we do try to make scholarships available for students that need assistance in going to college, so that's not a barrier for them. Mm-hmm. Also with the foundation, I work on raising funds to support other programs and initiatives that the college has. And one of those very significant initiatives right now is the new Columbia State College campus in Williamson County.
Yes, there's been a lot of excitement about that. So can you give us some information about the project and an update?
I would be glad to. Now, this has been a project that's been in the works for some years. Many people in the community have seen the need for a new campus and have worked towards that. And I'm pleased to report that things are picking up speed, and everyone is very anxious about that. But for those that don't know just a little bit of history, Columbia State has had a campus at Claude Yates for many years, some 40 years, and we have long outgrown that facility, and so land was identified, Liberty Pike and Carruthers, 36 acres, and that land has been purchased. I have a map that might assist people in having a better understanding of the location.
Oh, great.
This is Liberty Pike, and if you continue on Liberty Pike, you go to McKay's Mill, and then running north-south is Carruthers, and of course 65. So we are right here in this curve, 36 acres, and as you see, this is a full campus. Mm-hmm. So people are very excited about that. We're not talking about just one building, but a full service campus. Initially, we're looking at these red buildings, the first 3 buildings, and when those are built, this will allow us to move the entire operation to this location. And the great thing about this is we are going to then be able to expand the services and the programs of study that we have to offer for students. For example, right now, in the current location, we only have 1 lab. Mm-hmm. So in the new facility, we'll have 5 labs, not including the computer labs. So it's going to be quite an expansion as far as being able to offer complete programs of study for our students. And just to show everyone, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. This is a rendering of the campus, the first 3 buildings. And as you look, in the center is the Student Services Administration building, and then to the far side is Arts and Humanities, and then to this side is the what we call the STEM building, the Science, Technology, Engineering, Math building. And all of these buildings open up onto the mall, which eventually, when this is built out, will go all the way down to Liberty Pike. Now, initially, the estimates from the architects are that these 3 buildings will be able to service upwards of 2,000 students. So we will be able to shut down the facility that we are in now, move the complete operation over, and we expect to reach that capacity fairly quickly.
Well, I was going to ask, how many students do you have now?
Between 1,300 to 1,500 students at the Franklin campus. So we will make good use of this space. And kind of the timeline for this right now, these plans have been approved by the State Building Commission. That was accomplished at the end of June. And we were also given authorization to hire the construction manager, the general contractor. And so those proposals have been posted, and we expect to have a general manager contractor by August, 1st of August.
Excellent.
And while that is happening with the contractors and with the architects, we are continuing to do our fundraising because, as you know, there is a $4 million match that is required to draw down the state funds. And I'm very pleased to report, as much as I can, that is going very well, and that we have had some major lead donors step up, and we are continuing to have some great conversations. Then once that is accomplished, there will also be the opportunity for the public as a whole to join in supporting this campus. Because I'd like to point out, Dolores, once it's built, obviously that won't be the end of it. Because we will want to maintain those facilities. And not only that, but we'll want to provide scholarships. And maybe sometime I can come back later and talk to you about the variety of scholarships that we have.
What kind of time frame do you have for the completion of the first phase, or is there a specific timeline?
Now you're talking construction, and you know that that the best guess there, but
it is always the best guess. I understand that.
But with the general contractor, or the construction manager, general contractor coming on in August, looking at perhaps starting some initial site work in February. Of course, this is, and I want to be sure and say this, dependent on the money being put into the budget and the state legislature approving that. All indications are that's going to happen, but we certainly don't want to get ahead of that. But if all things go well and as planned, and revenues continue the way they're hoped to continue, we would look at turning dirt in July.
That's excellent.
July, so a year from now.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Why should a potential student that's looking for a college want to come to Columbia State?
There's many reasons one would want to go to Columbia State. One of the big ones is the quality that you get, your return on investment. That has become a huge concern, the amount of college debt that people are graduating with. And when you can go to a community college that's right there in your hometown, you can go get everything that you need for either a 2-year degree and then go to work, or you can receive a technical certificate that would allow you to go to work, or as the majority of our students do, they transfer. They do their first 2 years and then transfer to a 4-year school. So when you've got all of those options, and you can do it at a fraction, and I mean a fraction of the cost, and not suffer at all with the quality. It's one thing we're pretty proud of is that for our majors that require certification exams upon graduating, our pass rates far exceed the state rate and oftentimes the national rate of first-time pass rates.
Well, Bethany, if someone wants to find out further information, how can they find that out? How can they contact you, or what's your website?
Okay, I would say the very best place to start would be our website, columbiastate.edu. And when they go to the website, they'll find information about admissions, scholarships, financial aid, everything that they need. If they've got further questions, they can call any of our departments. If they're specifically interested in the Franklin campus, we'd love to have them come by and visit and talk to our director.
Thank you very much, Bethany.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be right back with our Save the Date segment. Did you know the library has children's homework resources, GVRL middle and high school titles, Black Birch Kids Visual Reference of the United States, Black Birch Kids Visual Reference of the World, Junior World Book Encyclopedia, and Junior World Mark Encyclopedia of World Holidays. And Pirates Through the Ages. Visit WCPLTN.org for more details.
Hi, I'm Vince Gill. Did you know that car accidents are the #1 cause of death in young people ages 16 to 20? As alarming as that is, there's something we can do about it. If you just take a simple pledge, it'll help keep your families and your friends safer while you're out on the road. I pledge to wear my seatbelt every time I ride in a vehicle and make sure that others in my vehicle are protected as well. Well, that's it. Come on and join the thousands that have already taken this pledge. Don't be a statistic, be the clique.
Welcome back. In our Save the Date segment today, we're fortunate to be discussing the art scene here in Williamson County with Autumn Bethea, Executive Director of the Arts Council of Williamson County. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And how did you get involved with the Arts Council?
Well, I first learned of them a couple of years ago when I owned a gallery in Franklin and taught art classes myself, and I became involved with them as a member. And then that kind of ratcheted up to getting on the board, and as of February of this year, I became their executive director.
Well, the library and the Arts Council have a long history, and we have ongoing events with the Arts Council at the library. So the first one is Grid Row. So tell us about Grid Row.
Okay, well actually when I became a volunteer, that was one of the things, that was one of my responsibilities. And Grid Row is just right in the main rotunda as you walk in the door. The grids that are up, we invite local artists. There's a lot of artwork on those grids actually. They probably need about 50 to 80 pieces of art. So a lot of times they're local instructors. We also invite some of the children of the art teachers within the school system to display their work, and it's just a beautiful show. A lot of people walk around and see it as we're hanging it and get to ask questions, and then we do have a reception for those artists at the library, as you know. Yes. Typically the second Monday of every month, where you can come and meet the artist and talk to them about their work.
And another event you have at our library is Brown Bag Lunch Bunch.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Well, that is actually one of my favorites. I guess I should like all of them, and I do. But Brown Bag Lunch Bunch ranges anything from where we typically have really good attendance at that event. It's typically the second Friday of each month. From 11 to 1, I believe. And we do various things like we had an origami artist come in. And actually teach us a little bit about origami. So, you know, since there are so many mediums, and we also include, you know, not only visual, but performing and culinary arts and literary arts. So we will be having some culinary artists coming in, which is wonderful. And it's just that's
a world unto itself.
It sure
is.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
I mean, we have some very talented people in Williamson County, and I'm not going to give it away.
Okay. Yeah, they need to come and see.
It'll have to be a surprise, but I'm really looking forward to those, and it's a great opportunity even it is open to the public, but it's a great opportunity to learn about other mediums. I mean, I'm a painter, so to see someone and the mathematical process that goes into origami, I mean, it's just mind-boggling what their imagination can do, and getting to witness that. So, and it's an open forum where we can discuss and sometimes create with them.
Oh, that's terrific. That's terrific. And the other event is at the library's Art Up Close and Personal.
Yes. And that is a similar type of event, but that is an event where typically we've had some big, you know, internationally known artists. And the format is a little bit different. They'll actually come in and maybe do a PowerPoint presentation about how they first got into their art, and then kind of take us through their journey as how their art has developed over the years, different countries they've traveled to learn the techniques that they have, and what made them who they are today. And again, it is a wonderful opportunity to learn about other mediums for artists besides the one that you know, or even if you're a collector, you know, if you want to learn about, you know, particular techniques and things.
that's a great venue for someone that's just starting out, wanting to
Yes.
learn more about their craft.
Yes.
So who are some of the artists that you've had?
We have had Timothy Weber, who is actually internationally known. He had a big write-up in the Nashville Arts Magazine last year, and I just found that fascinating. But we've had glass blowers. We had a furniture maker who actually brought in, he kind of used an Amish technique, I believe, and showed us, demonstrated with us with the equipment, him actually carving and making the pieces.
That's
so
terrific.
it's really interesting, very educational, and like I said, it's not just for artists. It's great for collectors to come in and learn about other mediums. There's so much to know.
Well, you do a lot with the library, but you also do a lot outside the library.
We
So
do.
tell us a little bit about that.
And we love being in the library, but outside of the library, we've recently become really involved in the Franklin art scene. And trying to make that a little bit more rounded out again as far as what people are able to see. And we have so many talented, I mean, an unbelievable amount of local artists that are featured on the first Friday of every single month in downtown Franklin.
Well, tell us if someone wants to get more involved with the council, tell us how they can do that.
Okay. We just actually went through a rebranding, and I'm really excited about the wonderful, colorful website we have. They can go to our website at artscouncilwc.org or email me at autumn, like the season, at artscouncilwc.org, and we'll be glad to get you some more information. You do not have to be an artist to be a member.
So do you have like annual membership
We
applications
do.
and
We
that sort of
do.
thing?
They start at $35, and then depending on you know how involved that artist wants to be, you know, I think they go up to $100. There's 3 different selections.
It's a terrific way to sponsor to help promote the local art scene here in Williamson County.
Yes, and we really do need help. I mean, the arts, not to whine, but the arts have suffered. I mean, critical needs, of course, are what, but we do appreciate any sponsorships that we receive.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today
thank you
and
for
telling
having
us
me.
a little bit about the art scene here. And we'll be right back with our What's Hot in Books.
Where can I find out about the Venus flytrap?
Where can I research information on my business competitors?
What is the safety record on the car I want?
Where can I research careers?
Where?
I'm all shook up. The Tennessee Electronic Library. That's where. And it's free to everyone in our state. Now go to your public library and find out how you can log on and get your password to a world of information just for living in our state. You can probably even figure out the password just by listening to my voice. I'm all shook up.
Welcome back. In our What's Hot with Books segments, we're privileged to have Julie Duke, who is the Children's and Young Adult Manager at the Williamson County Public Library here on Columbia Avenue. And it is never too early to teach your children the love of reading. And she is here to discuss some of the best read-aloud books and why they are good read-aloud books. Julie, thank you for joining us
Oh, I'm
today.
so happy to be here. Thank you.
Explain a little bit about what read-aloud books are.
Well, read aloud, it's all part of what we call early literacy, especially in very young children. There's just some basic concepts they need to know before they can actually read. That's like understanding letters. Also, vocabulary is really important, repetition, the rhythm of how words sound, and that's one reason rhyming books are so good for read alouds. So there's lots of components that are addressed in read aloud books.
When should you actually begin reading to your child?
Well, we like to say it's never too early. We actually have a baby story time at the library, and we've had 1 and 2 month olds. The There are some families that actually read while mommy's still pregnant, so they get used to the sound of their voice and rhythms. So
And when is your baby story time?
our baby story time is the last Friday of the month at 10 o'clock.
And that's every month?
That's every month. If we have a holiday, we usually bump it to the week before. Miss Megan is our snugglebug, that's what we call it, our snugglebug storyteller. She does a wonderful job, and the moms and the babies just love that time together.
That's excellent. What are some of the books you brought with you
Well,
today?
I brought some of my favorites. Of course, there's so many to choose from that it's hard to pick favorites. But Chicka Chicka Boom Boom by Bill Martin, and the illustrator is John Archambault. And I love the rhythm in this story. Not only is it bright, which of course, when we're talking
Very
about
colorful.
very young children, it's appealing to them, it catches their eye. But I love the rhythm in this story too. It's introducing the alphabet, but the story itself is just so captivating. And let me just read you the first page.
Okay.
A told B and B told C, I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree. And it just goes through that, and it's just captivating to children. And of course, very obviously you're getting the rhythm, the speech rhythms in that one. And I brought one of your favorite characters,
love
Pete the Cat. Pete the Cat's very first book was Pete the Cat, I Love My White Shoes, which you actually introduced me to. Well, now he's got, oh my goodness, probably 5 or 6 adventures.
Yeah, he's a popular character.
He's very popular, and Pete the Cat is going to school in his new shoes, and his new shoes are red kid high tops, and he loves his shoes. And again, it's very simple, repetitive, and it's got a good rhythm to it too.
Oh, that's a
I
good
love
one.
this series. Jane Yolen is such a prolific author, and she's written long novels. Everything she does is fabulous, and she's done this series about How Do Dinosaurs, and then there's several books. Mark Teague is an illustrator, and I love funny books, so a lot of my choices are humorous. But it's How Do Dinosaurs Eat Their Food? And then besides being rhyming, it's also teaching manners, because the dinosaurs start out picking their food and throwing spaghetti in the air, and then they learn that's not the way you eat your food. And so that's a great one. There's also How Do Dinosaurs Go to Bed and How Do Dinosaurs Go to School. Great series. Now here's another very prolific author. He's one of the, and he does his own illustrations too, Mo Willems. Again, very funny. He's one of the lead author illustrators right now. And as children get older and they're familiar with stories, this one is called Goldilocks and the Three
That's cute.
Dinosaurs. Well, any preschooler knows, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So when they get a little bit older, a little bit more sophisticated, they can appreciate the humor in Goldilocks and the Three Dinosaurs. And again, it's just really amusing how he creates this story.
Excellent.
Now, I had to bring a sparkly book, because little girls everywhere, and you see it when you go to Kmart, department stores, Target.
Yeah.
Actually, we see it in the library a lot too. All little girls, or a lot of little girls, love sparkles, glitter, tutus.
Oh yeah,
you name it.
tiaras
So-
and all of that.
yeah, tiaras. And this series by Victoria Kahn, her very first one was Pinkalicious. Well, that was a huge success. So she's done Purplelicious, Goldalicious, Silverlicious, and now we have Emeraldlicious. And it's just, it's just beautiful. And of course, it captures the glitz that little girls love. So I had to mention
Very
that one,
colorful.
because they're extremely popular. And of course, when we can't find princess books, all the princess books are checked out. We can usually find them on Emeraldlicious or Pinkalicious.
Well, tell us some more about the story times, because you have the one for infants, but you also have one for older.
Yes, we do. We actually have up to just before school. Toddler times are Tuesdays, and that's for 1.5 to 2-year-olds. 2 to 3. It depends on the child, but it can go up to 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Megan is a storyteller for that. We have a 10 o'clock and 11:15. And again, it's all about introducing language. Music is also very good because there's the rhythm in it. It's also socializing too.
Yes, yes.
And then we have preschool story times for 3 to 5-year-olds, and those are Wednesdays and Thursdays, both at 10 o'clock. And again, we have 2 sessions just to, because we have such a crowd, and we want to kind of give a little bit more, not quite so crowded atmosphere. But Miss Liz is the preschool storyteller.
So I guess our theme for this segment is read with your children a little bit every day, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but introduce them to the love of reading at a very early age.
Yes, absolutely.
And if they want to find out more information about what we're doing in our children's area, they can visit wcpltn.org.
Yes, we have our own page.
That's right, have your own page. Thank you very much,
Thank
Julie,
you,
for
Dolores.
joining us today.
It was great to be here.
We'll be right back.
It's time we all grow up and accept personal responsibility for water pollution.
I am the river and I flow.
Dumping just 1 quart of motor oil can pollute 1 million gallons of water. Fertilizers and pesticides pollute our streams. Follow the directions and use these products wisely.
Things we do every day create stormwater pollution, and stormwater runoff is one of the largest sources of water pollution.
Water pollution. It's not the other guy's problem.
Thank you so much for joining us today for Not Just Books. I hope you enjoyed the show and will join us again. Also, I would like to thank our special guest, Bethany Lay, Executive for Advancement and Executive Director of the CSCC Foundation, Julie Duke, Children's and Young Adult Manager with the Library, and Autumn Bethea, Executive Director of the Arts Council of Williamson County. If you have any comments or suggestions for future programs, please contact me. The email address is notjustbooks@williamson-tn.org, and you can also leave comments at the library's website, which is wcpltn.org. Until next time, explore your world and read.
I'm Montel Williams. The Partnership for Prescription Assistance is traveling to all 50 states, making stops in more than 500 cities to help people pay for their medicine.
The PPA has been terrific. It's really changed my life.
Let me say right from the jump, this program is real. The help you can get is real. Thank you. If you need help, you don't have to wait for the bus to get on board. Just call 1-888-4PPA now to see if you may qualify. A trained specialist will help you apply. Just tell them the names of the medicine you take. You could get them free or nearly free.
It has been a lifesaver for me in more ways than one.
This past year, America's pharmaceutical companies gave away more than $5 billion worth of medicines to people in need.
It really helped me out of a tough spot.
So whether you live in the Sunshine State or the land of the midnight sun, if you need help, just call 1-888-4PPA now. The Partnership for Prescription Assistance, on the road to helping you.